Hey everybody, this is Dwight Peters from quarterwaters.com, the site for social entrepreneurs, where social entrepreneurs, they come on the program, they talk about the issue they're tackling, the impact they're making, and share helpful business tips along the way. If you're watching this program or if you're listening to it, it's because you want to change the world through the power of business. You came to the right spot. Today on the program, we're going to find out how social entrepreneurs are combating a serious issue. Nearly 1 billion people go without clean drinking water. That's almost 42,000 people a week that have to drink dirty water. We're going to find out what One for One Water is doing about it. With us today on the program, we have Matt Keller. One thing before we jump into it, I don't know what happened to my camera. I look so digitalized. I don't know. But don't let that stop you from hearing the great message and hearing some great tactics that can help you in your social enterprise. Thanks. Matt, I gave a brief intro about the issue that you guys are combating, but I want you to talk about it more. What is One for One, and how does it work?
Absolutely. One for One Water was started just about 2 years ago. I was at the Sundance Film Festival with some friends right after the quake in Haiti. And I grew up, my father's a doctor, and so I grew up once or twice a year going to Haiti with an organization called Americans for Haitian Healthcare. And so very familiar with the living conditions and the communities down there, and knew that this quake, just was just going to rock everything. And at Sundance, conversations started about how to help, what to do. There was different groups of people that were getting together, like, hey, we should do this, we should do this. And a conversation started with me and a friend about bottled water and about getting bottled water to Haiti. And then we thought about what's a sustainable way you can do that. And we said, well, what if we do a one-for-one water bottle concept where you buy a bottle of water in the States, and then we provide a bottle of water to someone in Haiti right now as part of this disaster relief effort. And so that's really where the conversation and the brand came from, was that concept of allowing people here in the United States with everyday consumer purchases to get involved in, as you said, changing the world and helping those in the developing world.
All right, so just to recap, for people that hopefully nobody forgot, but there was this horrific earthquake in Haiti a couple of years ago, and this was really the pain point that you saw, that these people down there, they need help. So, you and your co-founder came up with a cool idea of providing the one-for-one bottle of water. But, I have so many questions, and I want to go in. Let's start with where we are at right now. How many stores are you in?
I'm sorry, say that again?
How many stores are you in right now?
Stores. Right now, we're in about 8 locations in Metro Atlanta, including if you've heard of the quick service food brand Chick-fil-A.
Okay, yeah.
Their corporate headquarters, and they're actually our, the biggest user and proponent of One for One Water, which has been awesome. And we're at this moment right in time, and I think for any sort of strong entrepreneur, it's like anything else. A good brand, which we feel like we have a great brand, a good story to tell, those are absolutely key. But it doesn't change the fact that you're still limited to the business limitations of any industry. So with water, distribution is king. Having distribution and distribution lines that you can sell into basically determines successful failure.
All right.
And so what we've been doing over the last year, as we really solidified the brand and the story, is we've been figuring out which direction do we want to go. Do we want to go the route of being more of a provider of corporations, where it's less of a consumer product and more of a corporate, hey, we want to do good with one of our purchases kind of items? Or do we want to really go the route of really going knocking down the doors of the cafe coffee shops? And currently we've got those plus churches, plus there's different yearly events that'll use One for One Water. So really figuring out the what's the best fit for the brand for the future.
Can you share with our viewers your revenue so far?
You know what? I probably would if I knew it. I am not the accountant type social entrepreneur. We've got a friend, one of the partners does that. But what we do, and this is, I think, plays into that, what that looks like is we hit a kind of a moving target. And the whole vision of One for One Water, is to allow people to do good with their everyday purchase in a way that is sustainable and is transparent. So unlike other one for one concepts or bottled water companies that even do this, where it's kind of an ongoing project,
Yeah.
sometime, somewhere, someone is going to benefit in some way from your purchase. Ours is very, very clear. Every 90 days, we're trying to write a check, and we're trying to get that money into the hands of our partner in Haiti, which is Clean Water for Haiti, and they're turning that around within every 30 days. And so it's kind of a ongoing thing. You can actually go to the Facebook page, and we post up the checks we've written every time on the Facebook page, so you can kind of see the amount of money that's going to these clean water projects. Actually, I'll be posting a check up tomorrow, I believe, from this past quarter.
Awesome. So far, can you share with us how much money has been generated for donating to go to your partners, Clean Water for Haiti?
It's 13. It's just, if you count the check that's going to be put on the Facebook page today, it's just under $3,000. Since I guess we really got going in summer of 2010 is when the first people started carrying the One for One Water. So 18 months, less than 10 clients, we've already generated almost $3,000 in funds directly to providing clean water for people in Haiti.
Awesome, man. Great job. All right. I did my research and I came across this. I came across this quote that you said in the article, which I love. They asked you, I believe the person was asking you, how did you get started, and what were some of the difficulties? And you said that you guys were building the plane in the air. Speak about that. Bring us back to the beginning. So you had the conversation, but this
Yeah,
is a big, big decision that you guys are making to enter the bottled water industry.
yeah,
You know that there are huge players in the game. How are you going to make a dent? So talk
yeah,
to us.
yeah, absolutely.
What was the first step?
My full-time job that I've been doing for about 6 years now is with a company that does fitness, leadership, and character programming for elementary schools and helps those.
Boostathon.
Yeah, yeah, Boostathon. And I do business development for Boostathon. And one of our mantras has been with the CEO of Boostathon, Chris Carneal, and I, is this idea of building the plane in the air. And that you can spend countless hours coming up with a business plan and talking about something and trying to get all the pieces in place. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good your plane looks. If it doesn't get momentum and if it doesn't get off the ground, then you're wasting your time. There's great social entrepreneurial ideas out there that have been fully developed that people are sitting on because the one thing you got to do they haven't done, and that's turn the engine on, put it in drive, and try to get some lift. And so the idea of build a plane in the air is if you've got an idea and you have a way to produce that service or good, and you can get a client, then just pull the trigger. You're going to figure it out along the way. There's no way for you to know exactly the pitfalls and exactly the challenges you're going to face. So instead of trying to figure everything out at the outset, just get going. Get the plane in the air, get that lift going, and then as you go on, you figure out where to put the seats and the whole nine yards. And here's the thing: you have to build a plane.
Yeah.
You can't fly too high with a half-built plane. You're going to crash and burn, which is the second part of why entrepreneurs fail. Is because they can't make the transition from start up, get it done, don't worry about taxes, just make it happen, to wait a second, we've got to connect all the dots, we got to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and that's a really hard transition to make for most entrepreneurs.
All right. So, I personally love it. I preach it as much as I possibly can. I tell people, look, man, just go for it, and you're going to figure it out as you do it. So are you still at Boostathon?
I am. Yeah, I am.
So is it safe to say that you're a weekend entrepreneur or
Uh,
a weekend warrior?
weeknight. Yeah,
Weeknight warrior.
a lot of weeknights.
Awesome, man. Same here. So like I love details. I really, really love details. What was the first step though? So you said that you want to do this bottled water company. How did you go about getting your logo done, finding a water distributor, getting the bottle done, picking the right bottle? Like, we need all of this. Matter of fact, perfect question. What was your startup cost?
Yeah, great question. Startup cost ended up being about 3 grand because I picked the right partners at the outset with the right skill sets to get involved where it was a lot of sweat equity, not so much cash equity. Um, the original idea and one of the original people that we talked to actually was someone who was in the bottled water industry internationally, and it was started off as a project that I was going to run for them that then they decided they weren't interested in. We had splitting visions of what it would be, and so One for One Water, which was the name I came up with and the concept that I wanted to do,
Yeah.
I went ahead and did that on my own. And step number one was I met with some designer friends of mine that are they're an amazing branding house here in Atlanta called Matchstick, without the K, and they said I can't pay you. I don't know if this is even going to work, but I believe in this. Do you believe in it? And they did, and they got excited about it, and so they put in over a weekend. They put in about 14 hours, and whipped out a brand, and we tweaked it from there. If you don't have those kind of relationships, my suggestion would be to use a website like 99 Designs.
Okay.
Um, 99 Designs, there's a couple other ones that do international design contests, and you can spend $300, and if you give the right information on these platforms, that you'll end up getting a great trademark, or a brand mark. So step one was packaging the story, so that the vision of One for One Water, what we wanted to do, and the story of what we were going to do, packaging that in the brand was step number one. Step number two was figuring out how that was going to flow. So right after we came up with the brand is when I met the giving partner that we were going to work with.
Okay.
We had a couple options, and I just talked to different people and ended up going with what I consider to be the ones that were the smallest, the most nimble, and the most not trustworthy, because that's not the right word, but the most transparent.
Okay.
To where I could call their cell phone in Haiti, and I can say, "Did you get the check?" And they'll say, "Yeah, we got the check. We went ahead and spent it on this, this, and this." So like we wanted that kind of, I guess, ability to be nimble with our giving partner. And then step number three was in finding the bottler. And interestingly enough, in the water bottle industry, as it's been taking a hit over the years, you get more and more bottlers that have excess manufacturing time. And so you can just find somebody and work with them.
Wait a second. There are bottled water companies that have excess working time. Explain that a little bit more.
Yeah. Not all the water bottle industry is fascinating. There's really only a couple big players. Nestle is the largest. Nestle has dozens and dozens of water brands. They buy them up all the time. Polar Springs, Deer Park, etc. And they've got subsequently the best distribution line, only right there with Coca-Cola and Dasani. And but they don't all own all the bottled watering facilities. So you might be drinking, Deer Park or Poland Springs or Dasani in some place in Texas, but it actually wasn't bottled with even a Coca-Cola bottling partner or a Nestle bottler. There's private label bottlers, or the infrastructure has been made so that in summer times when production has to kick up, you can then find one of these kind of locally owned bottlers, and they do private label bottling, water bottling. They do excess water bottling for these for the major players, and so you can just work with them.
Awesome. Let's talk about your first batch. So you had $3,000 up. You were able to get your friends to knock out a great logo, great branding story behind it. How did you feel when you got your first, I guess, I don't know, box of One for One Water? Like when you open it up, when you held it, how did that feel?
It was fun. It really was fun. It was a little bit intimidating because most of the work that I've done over the years has been service related. Yeah, so having the feeling of getting that first couple pallets of water was a little bit intimidating, because now I knew we had to figure out how to distribute all that water and find out a good home, and for good people to make the purchases and get involved in the world change itself. So it was the excitement wore off with the intimidation of knowing, okay, we're really doing this.
All right, so what are your price points currently?
Currently the water is selling for 54 cents a bottle, and that's to the actual, it's to the actual stores or and there's a couple churches that use it. And most of them are selling it anywhere from $1 to $1.25 a bottle.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So, what have you learned about marketing so far? You guys are still only in Atlanta, am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
What have you?
Just in Atlanta. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask you, what have you learned so far about marketing? What's working for you? What's something that you got to change?
Yeah. Um, uh, have you seen the video we did to tell the story? You can go to oneforOneWaterVideo.com. It's the number one word for number one watervideo.com. And that was probably one of the best things we did. We spent a weekend, got some friends that were videographers, and we went and we said, how can we tell our story in a few minutes in a way that where if you look at it on a smartphone or on a PC, without sound or with sound, you're going to be able to understand what we're trying to do in a very quick manner. And that was one of the best things we've done because we put that, we linked that website to a QR code on the bottles. And it was just basically one for one water. The brand mark itself tells the story, but we wanted to explain the story. And that was a really great marketing piece because it leaves leaves no questions. And it allows people to connect emotionally to the brand. And so I would say what I've learned about that is you don't really have to complicate things, especially in marketing. Some kind of social cause like this, people want to get involved. Another great quote for you: there's a company here, organization here in Atlanta called Plywood People. You can actually go to plywoodpeople.com. And Jeff Schinneberger has been a real inspiration to me. He's encouraged me through this process, and it's very similar to what you're doing. It's inspiring and connecting social entrepreneurs. And Jeff said that doing good with your purchase is the new buy one get one free, and that really inspired me. And I've seen it. People want a chance to help. People want a chance to, as they're making consumer choices, they want a chance to feel like they're a part of a global community that's reaching towards global good. And I believe that, and I think in marketing with that belief and faith that is the case, then it's made the marketing, and telling the story a lot easier.
Awesome. So you guys are fairly new. You mentioned that one of the hardest thing, I guess, or the most intimidating thing was actually getting this, product sold. Who was the first one to pick up on this?
It's a great question. Okay, so part of the story that I left out, when I had the idea and was ready to really pull the trigger on this crazy startup venture while I had a full-time job, I was at a conference and I happened to sit next to a guy named Jonathan Golden. And Jonathan started a company called Thousand Hills Coffee Shops. They're based out of Atlanta, and it's Thousand Hills Coffee and then Thousand Hills Coffee Shops. And he started off selling coffee mostly to churches, and it was what he calls community trade, not just fair trade, but community trade, where his brand and his business actually has relationships with all the farmers they were working with in Rwanda.
Okay.
And so they aren't just buying coffee from them at a fair price, they're actually helping them plan for a successful future and in relationships with them. And great idea. And then they started these coffee shops. And when I met him, it was right after I got the brand. And I said, take a look at this brand. Here's the story. And his response was, I love it, and I'll sell the water. And so that's how I got the first, it was 3 coffee shops that came with that. And he said, yeah, we'd love to sell your water. We'd love to help tell the story. And that was it. And I think that brings up a really good point, Dwight, that in social entrepreneur ventures, the one thing that's different than in just a regular business venture, it's different. It doesn't have to be, but it is. Most of the time, the people you're a vendor for, you want and are going to be successful when they are relationally engaged with you and behind your project. So, I've had people want to coffee shops say, well, why should I spend more money on this water when I can go to Costco and buy water and sell it? And usually when they ask that question, I kind of know
They're not connected.
They're not connected, and I shouldn't try to sell them anymore because they're not connected to the idea of social entrepreneurial causes, and I'm not going to try to convince them that the best thing for business is doing good. And some people get it and some people don't, and you shouldn't beat your head against the wall with people trying to convince them otherwise.
I think that's very important. That's a great tip, actually. As I told you in the pre-interview, I'm wondering about what social enterprise I could start. I have a few ideas, and really trying to get people to buy into the idea. You're right. When it comes to social entrepreneurship, you really shouldn't try to force people to buy into the ideas. Either they get it or they don't.
Yeah.
Type of mentality.
Yeah.
Another question I had to ask. We're big on sustainability. We're big on making this planet a better place. How important was it for you to find the right bottle and speak about the bottle that you guys use?
That was a big part of it. That to me, when I went to pull the trigger and find a bottler, that was a big unknown. Because we'd already said it's kind of, the story still communicates, even if the bottle is just regular old plastic, but it's not exactly our heart. So, and I didn't know it was out there, except that I knew there was corn-based plant bottles, and so that's actually what I was looking for. When I found the bottler we're using now, they had told me about this product called Enzo and about how it makes plastic biodegradable, and it seemed like a great product, and so it seemed like a great fit, to be able to do good and have something that biodegrades and is easier for the environment to deal with. We thought that was a great. Now, and I'll tell you this though, I'll be honest, it is a little bit of a constant challenge to figure out the future of 1-for-1 water along with the future of plastic bottling, because it is something to where I use every day. I fill up a bottle, an Nalgene bottle full of water, and I bring it to work with me.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at doing some stuff like that, so where you can, for those people that have the discipline. And I take that back. I don't every day do that. I think about doing it every day. I don't.
Sometimes you're in the mood. Sometimes you just have to go.
Yeah. But for those people who have the discipline to do that, we do want to offer them the ability and the chance to get involved with 1-for-1 water, and so we're going to probably be launching that here in the next couple weeks. But with the future of that Enzo bottle is a really great concept. We might who's to say we don't go to a plant bottle or a recycled bottle. I think for us, it's a secondary story that's more about limiting impact than it is about being the main story.
Awesome. I spent a lot of time researching this. As I told you in the pre-interview, I had a similar idea. That was actually one of the reasons why I created the site. I wanted to come up with a bottled water company that would make an impact. So another reason why I started the site Quarter Waters is because I wanted to interview social entrepreneurs, pick their brains, see how they think. And now I have you on the program that's actually doing it. There's another social enterprise out in the UK. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're called Blue, but they're spelled BLEU. And
yes.
they're doing something similar as well. Point being, they're using the same type of bottle as well, a corn-based, biodegradable bottle. How you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
I just want my viewers to really understand how big of an issue is this. We as Americans, I'm not afraid to say, we really take clean drinking water for granted. And one of the reasons why my pain point was to jump into the bottled water industry is because a lot of people don't know, but I went to high school in Jamaica. I was born here. And long story short, I ended up in Jamaica for high school. And there was days, man, when we'll turn on the faucet and all you hear is air coming out, just shh. There's no water. We had to collect rainwater. I know very too well about taking cold showers where we took the water that we collected, we put it into a basin, and we just went in the shower. We had to do what we had to do.
Yeah.
How big of an issue is this?
Yeah. I like you. I've lived overseas. Out of college, I moved to Costa Rica for 6 months, and you didn't drink the water. And that's just how it was. You bought liters of water, and that's where your water came from, because though Costa Rica has a great infrastructure, where we were, you still couldn't trust the municipal, the municipal water. So, I've being to Haiti, growing up, it was on my mind as well. But you still, even then, you don't really realize how big of an issue it is. And it wasn't until Honestly, with probably millions and millions of Americans, it wasn't until Scott Harrison started Charity Water,
Yeah.
really started blowing everything up, that it really, people started to realize this isn't just about health. This is about development. I got a chance to sit down with Scott. I guess about a year ago, and it was right when they were starting to tell the story and starting to think about the economic impact of water and about how many hours in the country of Africa are spent in trying to go collect water, even though it's not even clean. And hearing Scott take the issue of clean water from health to economic development to cultural development to, just hearing him tell that story is just really an impact. And I think for me, that's what drives that home. I mean, if you ever want to get your world rock, go to charitywater.org and watch their info videos, and it blows your mind. It really does.
Yeah, man, I have to co-sign on that, man, because I spent plenty of nights watching Scott Harrison's speeches, lectures.
Yeah.
I'm a frequent visitor to Charity Water. Matter of fact, I would love to have Scott on the program. So, Scott, if you are watching this by any chance, we would love to have you on Quarter Waters. Matt, you know, I just love getting as much details once again. I love truly getting everything that I possibly can. What are the challenges that you see now? What are some of the things that keep you up now that you worry about
Yeah.
when it comes to one for one water growing?
Yeah. We're in process right now of talking with different folks who want to get involved. That's the one thing you'll see about, and I'll say this because I think this is a really important point that I really wrestled over. If you're going to do a social entrepreneurial venture, you have to decide: are you doing it because you want to be successful and profitable, or are you doing it because you want to do good? And it's not an either or, but which one comes first? Brett Trapp, who's one of the leading partners of One Fun Water, Brett really coined it where he said, our desire to do good and change the world drives our desire to be profitable,
Yeah.
not the other way around. And that's really, really an important thing because it's not going to change necessarily how you do most business that you do, like as far as being profitable and knowing where to spend money. And however, it is going to affect how you treat competition. So at the end of the day, I don't see anybody. You mentioned Blue, Project 7 is another great one. There's actually a one out of Australia called Give Water. I see other people doing bottled water for good purposes, and I see them as allies, not competition.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. There was a guy in Manhattan who this time last year, I flew up and met with, who was wanting to start a company almost identical to 141 Water,
Yeah.
in name and everything. And, we really talked about it and, had to make the decision, are we going to stand in this person's way?
Yeah.
If they can do this better than we can and save more lives than Haiti faster, why should I stand in their way? So we ended up selling a couple of the websites to them at a really, really discounted rate from what I thought they were worth. And that to me was a really good feeling to think that you can do good, and in doing good, you will be successful.
Yeah, man,
And
definitely.
you don't have to be competitive in an aggressive way with people trying to do the same thing as you.
Definitely, man. You're just hitting it right on the head. I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and I was telling her the idea, and she loved it. She asked me, Dwight, aren't you afraid that somebody else might steal your idea? Not even knowing about what you're doing and other people doing, but I'm saying, why? I said the same thing that you said. If they can help other people, why not? It's kind of like this.
Yeah.
If somebody stole your Bible or whatever your religion you're in, if somebody stole your Bible, would you be mad? Like, no,
Yeah.
let them have it. It might, give them a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt, I truly love what you guys are doing. Is there anything else? I don't want to leave nothing out. What would you tell social entrepreneurs that are watching this program right now?
One thing I've noticed with social entrepreneurs, because it takes a lot of passion and a lot of guts to go after a venture in that space, you end up with a lot of strong personalities. And you end up with a lot of strong personalities who, that's what drives the story. And the genius of the ones that are successful, like Scott Harrison, for instance, and that's a non-for-profit, but he runs it like a business.
Yeah, he definitely
And
does.
in doing so, you've got to understand what your limitations are, And so, like, currently, you ask me what's the next steps for One Foot Water. Well, I'm probably not the guy to take it to the next level. I probably am not detailed enough, and logistics and distribution is a work of a detailed person. So we're actually in the process of talking with people who know how to do this, with people who love the brand, who are passionate about it, but they're going to do a better job than I can do in growing One for One Water. And that's an important thing, because you can't, it's like anything else. You can't hold on to it too tightly. You got to be open to the fact that maybe somebody can do a little bit better than you. And if you need to get them involved and let them drive it, then you got to do that.
Let them do it. It's bigger than all of us, man. Yeah,
exactly.
Matt, thank you so much for coming on the program. I look forward to seeing One for One Water continue to grow and make an impact. I would love to have you guys back on the program in the near future, so you guys could give our viewers an update about how things are going and just additional info.
Absolutely, love to.
All right, man.